Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Erudition Network. This is the Adroit Living portion of the Erudition Network. And again, Adroit Living, clever, skillful. Um, yeah, so we're going to go into that. Some people ask, even now in today's time, homeschool, what is that? Why do people do that? Okay, so if you've been watching, you you've been watching me. I've been talking a lot about conditioning, the way people are conditioned to think, behave, and respond. Okay, so a lot of people think that traditional school is brick and mortar school, and everything else is non-traditional. Let's go back a little bit. For African American communities, when they were brought here to the United States, they were not allowed to school in brick and mortar schools with the white people. They were schooled at home, i.e., homeschool. Okay, now let me explain why it remains popular. You see, a lot of people they feel like um, traditional schooling, brick and mortar school, we'll just call it that. Brick and mortar schools are not for me. Brick and mortar schools, a lot of people are complaining about what they're teaching everybody and how they doing whatever they're doing. And the problem is with that sort of thing, you're conditioning yourself to fit in where you don't belong. And why do you not belong? Because you don't feel comfortable. And why keep pushing yourself to be somewhere where you don't feel comfortable, i.e., homeschool. Now, there's many different ways to homeschool and it's a lot of them are funny. It's the unschooling method, and basically what it is you're teaching and learning in a manner that suits you and your family. So you don't have to have a teacher or a psychologist or somebody like that to come in and tell you how you learn best. You know how you learn best, and because you know you and you know your mate, the person who helped you to make the child that you have, you know how that child learned because you know you and your mate. Therefore, you know your child. So homeschooling is popular for that reason. It caters to who you are and how you learn. And a lot of schools, traditional schools, or what you call brick and mortar schools, they are still in the infancy of learning how to help your student and you learn and communicate effectively with one another and in the social environment. However, the reason why a lot of people homeschool is because they don't want all those distractions. There's a lot of distractions going on in the traditional sense. Uh, what is the traditional sense of distraction? Um, you're distracted by the social aspects of schooling. You go to school and the teachers get upset because you're talking. But how do you learn? You talk, you communicate, and you improve, that way as well. So you want to make sure that you are getting a well-roundedness instead of you trying to adapt to someone else's way of learning and teaching and understanding. And then a lot of people are complaining about brick and mortar schools because they're like, well, this critical race theory, I want that because that's providing a well-rounded sense of learning, a well-rounded understanding of what was and what is and what's to come, so you can have an expectation of what's going on. I don't want you to block it in, box it in, but you don't get to come into somebody's house and start redecorating. Who does that? You can't complain about how somebody else's furniture. This is not feng shui. Come on now. You can't do that. Well, what you can do is you can homeschool. Now, I would suggest that you do both. You do the brick and mortar schooling of whatever your choice is, and you homeschool. Meaning, a lot of people they send their kids to church or whatever religious facility that they're gonna, send their child to, and they send them to school to learn, Catholic school or whatever kind of schooling. But There's a lot missing at home. And before the pandemic, a lot of people were posting on streaming networks how they were teaching these young kids in kindergarten how to wipe their behind. Now that's a bit extra, but you have to understand when you're skipping things because you're saying, well, I'm busy. I'm distracted. I'm distracted because I got to go to work. I'm distracted because I need some sleep. I'm distracted because whatever the circumstance is that you're distracted, you have to understand that okay, that's life. So how do I deal? Well, what you do is you don't think that one thing substitutes the other. So what you have to do is you have to build on it. So if you're going to send your children to traditional school of any sort, whether it's Catholic, private, or whatever, you still have to teach your children at home what is called homeschooling. Okay, so homeschool teachers are not someone who's sitting in the cut waiting to get a title. There's no title. You're just learning. Okay, you are whoever your name is, and you do whatever you do. So one homeschool um, family may be really good with crafts. So that homeschool family will connect with another homeschool family that's good with art. Okay, you're good with art, you're good with crafts. Someone else is really good with math. Or I know somebody who's good with English. Wait, I know a family that's bilingual and they do. So you all get together and you co op. That means you cooperate with one another as a community of schoolers who are learning. You don't have to know everything. You could just be Dr. Know a lot about a little or know a little about a lot. You don't have to know everything, but you be open and receptive to learning and teaching your kids and allowing your kids to grow in the way that's normal for them. So when you're trying to constantly learn things in a way that is abnormal for you, then what happens is you develop dark thoughts. You develop dark feelings. Well, I can't do this. I'm never going to be good enough. And I can't this and I can't that. You have to understand you're forcing something that's not working. There is another way. In every religious sector, you have many paths, but one destination that everyone wants to be at. Let's call that destination happy. Okay, so there's many ways to be happy, and there are many people who want to get to happy, and you don't want to get to happy by yourself. So you can't box everybody in and say, okay, well, you have to do it this way, or else I'm not happy and you're not happy. No, you can't do that. What you have to do is understand everybody has a learning style, and for every family, there's a way to do things, and that's what homeschool does. They figure out a way. They come to understand what is the basic social norm, and they decide, okay, this is how I'm going to get my kid to do it because this is how I understood it. And they research and they find out, well, what is the curriculum for a person who is 5 years old and older? Let's say your kid is 5, and you look at the curriculum for your state. Each state is different, and a lot of people they homeschool because, like the military homeschoolers, we homeschool because in every state is a different requirement. Just like for every age, it's a different requirement. But you have to keep your child engaged. So you want to make sure that that child is constantly learning. So what you need to do is find out what is the requirements for that age group, for that state. Now, once you have met the needs of that state for that age, then your child is like, oh well, that's all. I need more. It's not that I'm bored. So the child getting into trouble or complaining, crying because you're going over the same thing, and it's like, man, how many times you gonna say the same thing? Let's move on. Okay, that's because you're not meeting the needs. And a lot of times in the traditional brick and mortar schools, you have people who are getting into trouble because they're bored. They've known this information the first time you said it, whereas the teacher has to keep repeating it for those people who didn't get it the first time. Just like if you were in church and the preacher saying, well, I can't tell you more than this. I gotta keep repeating because I see some of you in the audience, you haven't picked it up. So you still on that baby food, you still on that milk. And meanwhile, you missing all the people in the audience who they done with milk. They want some meat. So what they want you to do is they want you to move on. That's why this format right here is optimal. It's perfect because you can say what you have to say and get it on out there in the atmosphere. And whomever hasn't picked it up, rewind, repeat, and they can do it as many times as they need to without you losing everybody else. So you can keep on going because the teachers, the preachers, the religious Buddhas and religious leaders, everybody is trying to find a way where they can reach their target audience, which is everyone, and move on, get them to accelerate into the next level. Why is that? Because there's something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This guy named Abraham Maslow created this pyramid. I know you get tired of all the pyramids, right? You got these pyramids for food. Now you got this pyramid for learning. You also and development and child development and all this sort of thing. So what you want to do is you want to understand. And if you can't understand it right now, you can repeat it as often as you need to with the same understanding. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What are they? Uh-oh. Let's go back to the first one. Okay, Maslow's hierarchy of human needs are at the very bottom, you'll see physiological needs. What is that? That's the physical needs that you have. Very basic necessities: air, water, food, shelter, sleep, and clothing. And on the next level up from the bottom, you have safety needs, personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. And above that, you have love and belonging, which is friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection to something. And just above that, you have esteem, which is self respect, respect of others, social status. What is the status? Recognizing your strengths and freedom. And just above that, you have self actualization, which means you try to, this is the best you're going to be. You have reached the ultimate you. You have mastered all these other things on this triangle, and now you are the best you. And once you become the best you are still seeking you to grow because you're living, you're breathing, so you're constantly growing. So what you're doing is you're going up to transcendence. Okay, so what is transcendence? Oh man, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this because I know that's a lot to take in all at once. But remember, you can always go back and rewind and repeat. So don't worry about keeping up. Just keep watching. All right. So at the bottom of the level, you have the physiological needs. That's the physical. Don't get scared about big words. It's just a way of saying logic and the physical aspect of what this is. Now, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, well, you need air. Okay, but with the pandemic, a lot of people needed air. They needed the oxygen and everything, and they didn't have it. And what happened? That was your basic needs. That's a fundamental need. You need air. I need to breathe. And I need clothes. I need water. And then you have FEMA coming in where you have natural disasters and they're giving you these water. Who doesn't have water? There's a lot of people that don't have clean water. And it's not just in third world countries. When a natural disaster occurs, your human hierarchy of needs starts to go crazy because you're like, oh, I can't get no sleep. I can't do this and I can't do that. And it's like, okay, what am I doing? I'm going crazy and I'm having dark thoughts because I need this and I don't have it. These are the D needs. Now, the D needs motivate people to satisfy the physical needs that they're missing. And a lot of people, they look for school and teachers and churches and things like that to fulfill those needs. Hi, Matthew. I understand. Sometimes we all struggle uh, with big words, and that's okay. But if you keep on looking and you keep on trying, you're gonna get it, and that's all you need to know. You know. So never be concerned, and that's what I love about homeschoolers. They don't focus on what you don't know. They don't focus on that. They say, you don't know? Come on. I'm going to help you. Come on. I'm going to show you. And it's not like anybody's judging you. It's a judge-free zone, which I love. You can't find that in the brick and mortar school because everybody has that desire of status. And the only way you can get status in their environment is that you have to step on somebody else. And in the homeschool environment, they don't do that. So, anyway, we have uh, the safety needs, which is personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. Now, a lot of people may say, well, I don't have no property. You got property. You own something. Your clothes. Hi, Ebony. Your clothes. Your What else you have? You got your shoes, your clothes. Uh, uh. Oh, your hair supplies. We all have our hair supplies. And come on now. And when you have children, guess what? They're not your property, but that's still your child. And you have your health, you have things. It's the things that you own, the things that you have, the things that you collect and accumulate over time. Hey sis Ebony, I see you, girl. Stick with me, honey. Stick with me. I'm gonna get us through this. Now, the safety needs. When you become a parent, you have this need to provide safety for yourself and your child. And a lot of times we don't have children, but we still have the need to feel, safe and secure. And we need employment so we can get these things so we can keep upgrading ourselves. Got to keep upgrading yourselves. And these are a part of the D needs. The D needs, they motivate us to keep reaching for those things that are tangible, things that we desire to have so we can keep on growing. And then we look for love and belonging, which is the friendship and intimacy of that, your place in family. Where am I in my family? And a sense of connection, which is like, okay, I want to connect to somebody. And a lot of people are seeing, especially during the pandemic, they're seeing social media as a medium of connection. A lot of people can't connect because they're like, well, I can't go to the church. Well, I can't do this and they can't do Facebook and they can't do Twitter because that's tainted and this tainted. So I've seen a lot of people streaming. I've seen a lot of people using TikTok, and I've also seen a lot of people doing different things on TikTok that I really like. It's come a self-help group thing type. I don't know, where a lot of people are doing group therapy, where you stitch this and stitch that, and tell me about how you was. And which the reason why I like that is because it is helping people fulfill those hierarchy of human needs. Why is that important? At the very bare sense, you have to understand. Yeah, and they go viral. Good point. They go viral because it's connecting, it's reaching, it's fulfilling people's hierarchy of needs. And they're like, I want more. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been striving for. I didn't think that there was anybody else out there like me. I didn't know that anybody else had this issue. And we make so many things taboo. Nobody gets to communicate on that level. It's like, I know, right, Ebony? Exactly. And it's like we make it taboo, and it's like, why is it so taboo? This is the connection, the sense of connection that you're missing in the brick and mortar, or the conditioning method that everyone's using in the social norm that was before the pandemic. It is not the way it should be. That's why you have homeschool. Homeschool, they don't force you to do all of these things and fit into a category and fit into a box. They work with you. It's like water flowing. And you flowing with the water, and you're not going against the vibe. It is what it is, and if you don't like it, you can keep pushing, or you can sit a while, learn a little bit, conversate, and we're gonna show you different perspectives. As a connection. You feel it more connected than you do in a traditional school or brick and mortar school. And that's why they have also come to develop other methods of schooling that's like the traditional brick and mortar school, where you have distant learning and where you can get online and learn or do a seminar online. They're trying to connect because you're losing a lot of people with the whole brick and mortar is the only way. can't do that. You got to move around. And then there's the next level up, which is esteem, respect, self esteem, status, recognition, and strength and freedom. Why is that important? Because this is what you're looking for when you're looking for that connection. This is what you're looking for when you say, well, I don't think I fit in. Well, I don't think I'm ever going to get along. I don't think I'm ever going to find a mate. I don't think all these dark thoughts, all these feelings. Oh, what I don't, I'll just end it now. It's because you're not fulfilling your human hierarchy of needs. Let's explain. You got to recognize your strengths. Okay, yeah, you got flaws. Put them out there so nobody can hurt you. Put them out there and then roll with it and rock with it, right, Matthew? Roll with it and rock with it. Okay, what does it mean to be taboo? Matthew says, can you explain what it means to be taboo? Taboo means, oh, you just said a bad word. Oh, we don't talk about that. Like in Harry Potter, the man's whose name shall not be mentioned because it's taboo to mention his name, Voldemort. Or if you go into any kind of religion, the devil. Like my movie was Bobby Boucher, girls are the devil. So it's like those things that people don't want you to say. They say that's taboo. But when you're in an accepting community like homeschoolers, it's not so much that things are taboo. It's the matter of the fact that people want you to focus on what they want you to focus on. And if they can do that, then they can manipulate you to do what they would have for you to do. Homeschoolers, the reason why they excel above the average is because the average is the very, very bare minimum. Whereas the homeschoolers say, okay, you've reached this level, let's keep going. Let's keep going. And it's more catered to your needs as opposed to the group needs or what the military says. What it say, Eddie? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. No, how about it's enough room for all of us? Okay, that's freedom. It's enough room for all of us. You don't have to do that. Your status doesn't depend on my status. That's freedom. That's esteem, self-respect. And your man don't have to be, here at my house because this he picking up what he like about me, so he can go home and tell you, and you can do it. Okay, it's respect. It's learning and growing. Once you get past all of that, you have now reached self actualization, which means that you can, I don't know if we're still on, but you can that you can be. You have reached the ultimate you. You living your life. You not trying to survive. You thriving. You doing it. You being the best you can be. And now that you're the best you can be, and you dwelling in it, you rocking with it, rolling with it. Now you could transcend. And what is transcendence? That means everything that you have done, everything that you have done, and now you've also reached the spiritual awareness, and now you're growing. You're growing and learning. You transcended from that was to that you will be, and you're constantly growing. Why are you constantly growing? Because you're living and breathing. You eating right. You don't want to just be full off what you ate yesterday. You want to keep eating. You want to keep getting income and getting a raise, and you want to get to the point. Let's put it in a business aspect. It's like you've finally worked. You put in all these years of work, and now you don't want to work anymore. You just want to sit back, chill, and collect the money, and let the money collect and build up, and let the money make the money. You transcend it. You're not doing any of that physical labor and talking, and you chilling. You enjoying life. You traveling. Everything's cool. That's the B values. And the B values is truth, honesty, reality, simplicity, richness, completeness. It's a spiritual, physical, emotional, and every way you can possibly imagine. You've reached it and you're growing. You're not stuck in it. It's like you go to church and people say, "Well, you got to drink milk because everybody else here is drinking milk." No, you get the move in the spirit that you're comfortable in, so them dark thoughts aren't there anymore because you're moving in the spirit that you are comfortable in, not the spirit that everybody's comfortable with you having. Because guess what? They they matter, but they don't impact your life in the manner in which you are uncomfortable with. And it's like, who is doing that? Who's doing that? Wow, that's a possibility. That's an option. Yeah, that's an option. You don't have to be in a box. You don't have to be labeled. You can just be who you are. And if that environment says, okay, this is the label you are, okay, right now you're labeled as that person's spouse. Why? Because the focus is that person and you are the second in that. So what are they saying? They're saying, okay, we're recognizing you, but we're talking about this person. So we're going to talk more and focus on that person. But that doesn't belittle you. That doesn't change who you are. And it should not negatively impact your feelings. So don't get in your feelings about stuff. And a lot of people, they when they get in their feelings, it's because your human hierarchy of needs aren't being met. Yeah, the meta motivation. The meta motivation is a big word that means people who have accomplished self actualization or completed all the stages of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and they're striving to reach a higher transcendence. I'm sorry. See, it happens to everybody. Trip over your tongue all the time. But it's like the meta world. Everybody's aspiring to be in a place where they can move around freely. They don't want to pay all that money to go here and there. They don't want to say, "Well, I had to get my outfits together and change and do all this and that because now I've come here and I've done that and now I have to do this." No, the metaverse is blowing up. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that it fulfills the human hierarchy of needs in a way that nothing else is doing in the moment. And a lot of people, for homeschoolers, they're already doing that because they're moving around. They're not boxed in. They're unschooling. They're in a always learning state, if you can put it that way. I'm always learning. So whether I'm doing it in the traditional brick and mortar sense, where you give me a book and you tell me this is what you want me to know and nothing else. Like a lot of churches and religious communities, they say, here's the Bible or here's the word and nothing else. Like God bless America and nobody else. That's not okay. Now, it's a lot of people who reached the level of transcendence and they did so early. For example, Jesus. If you're familiar with Jesus, Jesus went through the steps and he it's a path that he followed. Okay, and he said, there's somebody in the Bible was like, man, man, Jesus, you doing it. I'm just gonna speak in the layman's terms because a lot of that Fort Art and Shell, a lot of people get lost in that. So I'm just gonna put it in layman's terms, okay? So they was like, man, Jesus, you doing the thing. How'd you learn all that? How'd you know all that? Well, some people they reach it faster because they not worried about fitting in. Jesus wasn't worried about fitting into the church. He went and did his thing and he let the church do their thing. He didn't go in the church and try to change what they doing. He said, I didn't come to change you. I came that you will have life more abundantly. And that's a part of that self-actualization that we have to understand so that we don't get in those dark places and have those dark thoughts and feelings that we just got to end everything. You have to understand what you're doing is you saying, okay, I'm not accepted here. That's okay. I'm going to keep moving. Keep on moving. And then you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're around more people. And those people are like, man, you're cool. You're weird, just like me, but you're cool. So I want to hang around you. And now you got somebody just as weird as and ignorant as you are and trying to grow and y'all laughing and playing and going on about your way. and you pick up some more people that's just like you, and you like, oh man, this is making me feel better. This is growing me. This is feeding me. Okay, this is making you feel like, oh, I could get along with this person. We're gonna keep on communing. You have transcended the box that people tried to put you in, and now your self actualization is not negatively impacted by other people saying, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. You said, okay, I can't do that. So what am I going to do? That's Matthew. So you're gonna say, "What? You can't do that." So what you're gonna do? You're gonna keep on moving. And when you can finally find somebody that looks just like you want them to, doing just what you want them to do, you have finally accepted yourself. You've accepted those things that you cannot change, and you change those things that you want to change. You don't have to change yourself to fit into a box. For example, take Matthew here. He's only 10, and he just made 10 not long ago. And then he's like trying to fit in, trying to fit in. He's trying to wear his hair the same way everybody else wears his hair. And he said, look, I have decided that I'm going to wear my hair like this, and everybody that's a good, strong black man, they're going to have what I have. So he didn't make, he said, I'm not going to fit into everybody else's way. Okay, thank you, Matthew. I'm not going to fit into everybody else's box. I'm going to create a box and you have to fit into this box. So everybody who has a high top fade or an afro or whatever, they rocking it. He's like, yep, I see it. I see you. I see you. And that's what you have to understand. You can't let the perspective of others alter your self actualization. You love you. You know your flaws. And if somebody points it out to you, don't be mad. Own it. Accept it. Say, yep, that's my flaw. That I did that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still learning. What people say, a lot of Christians say, God ain't finished with me yet. Hey, he ain't gonna never be finished with you, because even in this flesh, no matter how long you've been in this flesh, once you finish, guess what? You still got to be clean, but in order to get in. So that's another transcendence. However, let's get back to who else transcended early. Uh, I'm gonna slaughter this name, but I'm gonna try. Siddhartha Gautama, or the young king who founded the Buddhism religion. He was much like Jesus. He was born, and he reached them hierarchy of needs really fast at a very young age. Maybe 1 years old, he reached those levels and he transcended, and he started helping other people to do it as well. And a lot of times people don't realize, well, you're not reaching that because they don't want you to. Because people who transcend, you can't control them. They weren't able to control that king, that Buddhist king, and they weren't able to control Jesus. And they don't want you to feel like they can't control you. They want you to conform via peer pressure. So they want to make you do what they want you to do, think the way they want you to think, wear what they want you to wear, and act like they want you to act. And they want you to respond the way they want you to respond. And when they want you to respond, you can't do that. You have to be comfortable in being who you are whenever you want to be what you are. But you have to make sure that you are meeting the social norm so that you're not making someone else feel uncomfortable. For example, a lot of people in these brick and mortar schools are saying, uh, well, I want to learn this and I want to learn that. But you have to understand, what was that brick and mortar school built for? That brick and mortar school was built up on the, yeah, do that for JoJo. Uh, that brick and mortar school was built in order for a particular community to teach their community children how they want them to do what they want them to do. It was not for everybody and people of color, and it wasn't for that. So why is it that you don't feel comfortable? And why is it that you feel like you got to come up in they house and tell them, well, you got to teach me like I want to be taught because I'm here. Teach me like I want. You can't do that. You can't get mad at people and say, well, now you got to do it like I do it because I'm here. You can't do that. You have to be respectful. and move in the way you move it. And if you want to sit down for the national anthem, then that's on you. You do what you want to do. And if they ask you, well, why do you do that? Why do you put your hand over your heart? Why do you do this? Why? Then you're in a learning atmosphere, an environment. So what you want to do, yes, you want to share these videos with all those people, even episode one, especially episode one, because people, I don't want you in your feelings when I'm talking, because I want you to grasp everything that you can so that you can unpack it at your leisure. Every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time in Chicago, uh, and 4 o'clock if you're on the other end. Okay, if you're on the other end, 4 o'clock. But whatever the time is, just click on it and rewind and repeat and share it. Okay, it's for everybody. It's one love, and I don't do the whole divisional thing because I'm more of a homeschooler than a brick and mortar schools. Okay. Why? Because I like inclusiveness. I like to include people. I don't like to exclude people because that makes me feel bad. That I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. And when other people feel bad, I feel it and I don't like it. It puts me in a dark place and I want to stop. So what do? I don't feed into it. When I see somebody straggling behind, I go get that person. Hey, it's okay. Come on. If you know me from Gage Park, you know how I do. Especially if you was in ROTC with me trying to do that goddamn triathlon. They had us running and carrying on. I got asthma. I can't run. But when I saw my people struggling, even though I couldn't breathe, I ran with you. I ran with you. I'm gonna get you. I'm not gonna leave you by yourself. I sit here die trying. Okay, that's me. I love all my people. Don't fall behind. Don't fall behind. So that's one of the things that the traditional brick and mortar schools do. It gives you more of a sense of community. But it all depends on the type of person that you are. If you're the type of person where you're more about yourself and it's because you're trying to reach your hierarchy of needs, you're trying to fulfill those needs, don't be mad at somebody that they haven't got there yet. They haven't developed that yet. Don't be mad. It's okay. I know, right, Ebony? Cadence challenge. You was there. You was there. So you know. So a lot of people you have to understand. We do things at our own pace, and it's okay. And you can't judge us. You're going to miss out on terrific people if you're judging. And the homeschool community, we don't judge you because we're busy celebrating the you that you are while we're also trying to help you learn everything that you need to learn for your developmental stage or the standard developmental stage that your state and the educational board in your community said for you to be at. They said, this is the bare minimum. Please meet this requirement. And you said, okay, but I got some conditions. I got dyslexia. I got ADHD. I got some things that haven't been diagnosed because I don't have the money to go in. In America, you have to have money to go get these diagnoses and all of these big words and all of this stuff. Homeschool don't do that. Homeschool finds a way to give it to you for free or darn near free, affordable, okay? Because they want you to reach all of your human hierarchy of needs. And what is the hierarchy? That means there's levels, there's stages, there's this bottom level, top level, and that transcendence level. That means that now you have it, now you want to get everybody else. Get everybody else on board. Get everybody else on board. Now, what some people do is they'll learn a little bit and they'll share that little bit. And they'll learn a little bit more and they'll share a little bit more. And then as they continue to grow, they continuing to teach, grow, teach, grow, teach. Why? Because that person has the mentality that I love and I want to be loved, and this is how I'm gonna get that. So what you're doing is you're bringing everybody with you and you growing and you growing. Even though a lot of times you can't keep the people that you had started with in the path, there's many forks in the road. It's gonna fork off and you're gonna come back. That's why I don't say bye. A lot of people in my different schools and the different communities and things that I met them at, they were like, "Oh, you just disappeared. You didn't even say bye." And it's because I don't say bye. I intend to see you again. And I intend to pick up where we left off and be able to positively contribute to whatever it is that we gathered now. So you brushed off and you did your thing. I brushed off and did my thing. And at some point in time, our paths are going to connect again. And we're going to be able to have something to add to each other. So I don't say goodbye. You'll see me again. I don't plan to go anywhere. I'm just going to dip off a little bit, find some information, grow myself, learn, and I'm not going to bottle myself in. In the homeschool community, we don't bottle ourselves in and say, well, we can only learn from someone who has a title, someone who has a million degrees, someone who's been here forever. No, we're learning from the babies and everybody. Jesus said, and a lot of other religious people said, don't don't do that because when everybody was like, "Go get them kids out of here," Jesus talking, "Get them kids out of here." Jesus said, "Hold on now, hold up. This for everybody. Get them kids over here. They the future. Don't throw them out." That's the homeschool mentality. The homeschool mentality says, we can learn from everybody. Get that child a chance to speak. Get this person this, get this person that. What you need? Oh, okay. Now, okay. Well, we're not talking about that right now, but put a pin in it. We're gonna come back to it. So, in a traditional school, you have a lot of people who feel in dark ways, and no one's catering to that need. Where is that coming from? They're trying to figure out where they're scrambling. Where are you getting this from? Where's this coming from? Where's that coming from? They're scrambling, trying to figure it out. Well, where it's coming from is you have to understand I'm not getting my needs fulfilled. Whether you believe or learned about the hierarchy of human needs just now, or you've been known about them, now you understand what's missing in people's life when they say, okay, well, I don't feel this and I don't feel that, and I'm down, and I'm having dark thoughts, and whatever those dark thoughts may be. I'm sad all the time. I'm depressed. I think I need a medicine for this. You can't you can't retain my attention. I gotta get up. I gotta move around. I gotta you. It's somebody just like you. Where what you doing is your spirit, your soul, your whole man, your mind, your body, everything's moving, saying, "Look, we gotta get out of here. We gotta find this. You like a crackhead. I gotta find this. I gotta go over here. I gotta do that." And it's okay. It's okay because the homeschool community, what they do is they recognize something's wrong and they care enough to help you figure it out. In the traditional brick and mortar schools, they're like, "Oh, I ain't got time for this. They don't pay me enough for this." Guess what? Homeschoolers don't get paid at all. But that's another topic for another day, and that needs to be fixed. But we're gonna keep moving. So people say, well, I ain't getting paid for this. Guess what? If you're good at what you do, you're never gonna get paid good enough. If you're good at what you do, they can never pay you what you're worth. Does that mean that you're not gonna be what you should be? Oh, I didn't get the grade that I felt I deserved. Does that mean that you didn't do a good job? Does that mean you didn't put your best foot forward? No, that didn't change the fact. That just means that somebody put a label on it. Somebody quantified it. Somebody said, well, this you did this much. I want this much. And that's what makes you have them dark thoughts. That's what's making you feel depressed. That's what's making you moody. That's what's giving you that feeling that you got to keep moving around. You got to keep moving around. Yeah, you got to keep moving around because your soul like, I can't feel comfortable. I can't vibe here. I can't grow here. They stuck my growth. They stuck my ability. I can't develop into the person I'm meant to be. I can't do this. And a lot of people are confused as to why it is and why. And then they say, well, I'm just going to end it all. I'm just going to end it all. And then they get outside and they find somebody that's just like them, somebody that's moving around just like them, somebody that wasn't comfortable just up there, and somebody that was just going along to get along, but they didn't feel comfortable with that. It's just like the Tower of Babel. When all those people in the Bible were building a tower because they wanted to reach God, everybody had one mindset. We want to get to heaven, but we don't want to go in the way that God wants us to go. And they start building this big old tower. And it became the Tower of Babel because a lot of those people were doing it for different reasons. And it just made it aware to those people that they were doing it in a different way. So what you have to do is you have to understand that yes, you have to raise a child in the way they should go so they won't go astray. But a lot of people were going along to get along, and they were building that Tower of Babel based on that they just wanted to fit in. They wanted to belong. They wanted to have that connection with people. But a lot of people got lost. And what happened was all those who had the like mind, all those who had the same mind spoke the same language. So when they started speaking the same way, everybody was like, "Oh, you speak like I do. Oh, you have the same values that I have. You have the same motivation that I have. You have the same drive that I have. Well, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna rock with you. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna build our own community." And what happened was everybody started to branch off into different parts of the world and they started to speak different ways. And when they decided, okay, well, now my path is forking off from yours because now my dialect, just that little, what they call slang, my swag don't fit in yours anymore. But in traditional brick and mortar schools, you have to have the same everything all the time or you don't fit in. And when you start to grow a little bit and you outgrow the people you with, you can't hang with them anymore because now they're going to tease you, they're going to taunt you, they're going to make fun of you, and they're going to make you feel some type of way. You want to avoid feeling some type of way. So you got to keep it moving. And you can't think of yourself as being one person. You are a whole person. You have different needs. And what does that Maslow's hierarchy of needs help you to understand? It helps you to understand that to fulfill yourself, to make yourself feel the way that you want to feel and get out your feelings and get out of that dark space that you in, you have to fulfill these needs according to what you feel. Not according to what other people are telling you and conditioning you to believe and feel and think and respond. You can't do that. You have to understand this is me and I'm all right with that. Oh, I'm a little slow. Okay, that's all right. I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna catch up. And you might find that once you sit there in your examination of yourself and you're examining your flaws, you're examining all the things that's going wrong with you and everything, you say, all right, now I got a handle on it. I got a handle on it. So now, no matter what happens now, you can't be shaken. You can't be moved. That's that transcendence level. You can't be moved. You have a made up mind that this is okay. I'm okay. I'm okay that I don't feel comfortable around you, do I want to be around you. I'm okay that I have to sit by myself sometime and think some stuff and rethink some decisions that I made over life and regroup. It's okay. And I saw one time a preacher was saying, well, I'm preaching the word. And some of you young people and other preachers and things, y'all gonna listen to my word. You ain't gonna direct people over here to me. You're gonna go out there and try to emulate, mimic, and do what I'm doing. Don't be worried about that. Because see the thing about homeschoolers, they don't care where you got the information. They care that you learn the information and you growing. They not worried about, oh well, I'm the one taught you how to tie your shoe. Oh well, I'm like it came just that fast. Like somebody's mama be like, oh, look, give my grandbaby. I'm teach my grandbaby how to tie his shoe. And 5 minutes later, oh, I done taught him how to tie his shoe. Mama, I've been teaching him how to tie his shoe for weeks, months even. You didn't just come 5 minutes and tell him how to tie his shoe and he got it just like that. Come on now. It don't matter. Just smile and say, oh, you taught him how to tie his shoe. You such a good grandma. The truth is the truth. It don't matter whether you accept it, believe it, or whatever. It is what it is. And how do you grow? You learn what the truth is. The truth is we all have these hierarchy of needs. Hierarchy meaning levels and stages of needs. And we have an order. Some people say, well, you can't do these hierarchy of needs out of order. You have to do this and do that and do this and do that. No, you don't have to do anything. They say Jesus had a, he was just so young, or he was so young, but he lived in his stages. His stages was he was already an old man. and he was tired of dealing with folks. He was there. He was in there telling people, "I'm teaching you how to. I'm talking to you in your own language. You're a farmer. I'm telling you sowing seeds, and I'm telling you in the language that you can understand, and you still don't understand. Well, I'm gonna write a book." So you pick that book up and you can come back to it at your leisure so you can understand it because I got to keep moving. I'm tired of this. I can't stay here. I got to go. So when Jesus left, everybody was like, oh no. And Jesus said, don't worry. Don't worry about me leaving. It's okay because just like you had people like Abraham and Lot and all these other people, just like you had them, and now you have me. It was greater and greater as time continued to go on. And he said, there was great before me, and yeah, I'm doing even better than they was, but after me, there will be greater. So you have to understand, everybody doesn't do it the same way. The young king that found Buddhism, he didn't do it the same way. A lot of people say in different interpretations, but a lot of people say that he was born awake, woke, or well learned or well educated. And they're like, well, where did he get that from? The womb? How you do that? And they say, well, he must have lived many lives before this one. A lot of it is it's the hierarchy of human needs. You have met that level. You've done that level. Homeschoolers, they don't say, well, this kid is in first grade because he's 5 years old. So we're going to keep him in first grade at 5 years old, even though they're already reading at a fifth grade level. Like, how are you reading at a fifth grade level when you're 5 years old? They don't box you in. You can keep on going. If you reading at a fifth grade level, but your math skills are at kindergarten level, they don't label you. You're not labeled. You can feel comfortable in having different balances of different things and saying, well, that's all right. I'll catch up. But here we go. That's why the schools, traditional brick and mortar schools, have a basic. They have a basic thing where it's like, okay, as long as you know this much, you can elevate to the next level. Homeschoolers don't do that. If you learning at the fifth grade level of a kindergartner at the age of a kindergarten and you learn at the fifth grade level, what they're going to do is they're going to start teaching you at the next level, the sixth grade level, or whatever level you continue to graduate yourself at because you're reaching that level. You're no longer at in the box of the kindergartner, and they don't keep you there. They accelerate you, and they say, well, your math skills they preschool level. So we're gonna have to go back to the square peg and the round holes. And Junior is adorable. I'm just saying. But it's like traditional schools say, well, you have to be balanced. You have to be balanced. You have to do this, and you have to sit in your chair until I'm finished talking to you. You have to sit in your chair until I'm finished with my sentence. You have to stop fidgeting and focus on the words that are coming out of my mouth. You got to stop twitching and focus on the words that's coming out of my mouth. Everybody can't do that. That's not for everybody. And it's not that they have a problem. It is the matter of the fact that we all are different and we shouldn't judge. And the homeschool environment, they don't judge. You can get you a fidget spinner and spin it, and nobody's saying, "Oh, you got problems." You can read at a slower level. It's okay. But once you got it and you got a hold on it, you keep that hold and can't nothing move you. Now you're going to keep on developing and growing in your hierarchy of needs in a way that you're going to feel fulfilled. And now you better able to help somebody else. But if you're one of those people that don't wait until you fully got it to get somebody else on board, kudos to you. But if you're the type that's like, man, I don't know, because they're gonna hold me to my word. And I don't want to look like I'm crazy. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look foolish. So I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna sit here and watch until somebody give me the opportunity. No, homeschoolers don't do that. And that's because you're in a traditional brick and mortar school, and the school system was not set up for people of color. And people of color keep on saying, well, I'm going to keep forcing it. I'm going to keep on pushing it. Now, I understand you want to be treated equally. But what you have to understand is it's two different fights. It's two different fights. You're fighting for equality and you're fighting for doing what you want. Okay? So it's two different fights. You gotta pick a fight. If they won't do what you want them to do, that's different from them saying they not treating you equally as they are other people. And a lot of times, a lot of people say, well, okay, you got it. You got it. Hold on to it while I get such and such. Because they have 30, 40 students in the class. They have multicultural people in the class. And they have all these issues that people have in the classroom that they can't focus on just one thing. This baby can't go to the bathroom and wipe their behind, and they sitting there itching. So now the teacher's like, well, man, let me help this child because that smell is disturbing everybody. Teachers have it hard in traditional brick and mortar schools. And I feel sorry for them. My heart goes out to them. My heart also goes out to everybody who don't understand what that system was made to do. So what you want to do is if you want a system that's made for you, there's different levels, there's different opportunities, there's different methods of homeschooling, there's different methods of traditional schooling, like you got your private sector and your public school sector, like you have your different districts, like you have your different states. You have to find what's good for you. Just like with your hair, everybody's in a battle with their hair. Okay, that hair is not going to look good every time, and sometimes it's that rarity, that anomaly, that outlier, that thing that's just rare and just so happen to be, and you're like, well, I need to recreate this every time. You have to understand you're not going to be able to recreate it every time, but what you can do is you can develop a sense of self-actualization that's fitting you everywhere you go. Self-actualization, let's coin it as confidence. You can have that confidence, that swagger, that yeah, that's true. Some of them are not teachers, they're facilitators. And then there you go again with another issue. There's two different things. And that's why I love the homeschoolers, because you don't confuse one thing over another, and you're not constantly battling one thing. You Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And the spirit agrees with you, so you're not distracted. You can stay focused so you can understand what the academic level is that you need to understand, and you can also understand the social norms, and you can abnorm. A lot of this brick and mortar schools have adopted a conditioning of saying normal, which is really abnormal. It's not normal for you to feel like you should be able to hurt somebody and that's okay. That's not normal. That's not normal. That you should put somebody in their feelings and walk away. That's not normal. You're gonna come across this person again in your life, and that person's gonna remember what you did, and they're gonna feel some type of way about that. And whatever happens, you have to understand it happened because a seed that you planted a long time ago, and now it's time to reap the harvest of that seed. So every day you are sowing seeds and you're trying to learn and you're trying to grow. And I'm not saying that all bad things, all that dirt. I'm not saying that all of it's bad. What I'm saying is you have to accept those things that you cannot change and change those things that you are willing to change and can change. And if you're willing to change, you'll find a way. You'll find a way. But don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck there. So what is the difference between homeschoolers and traditional schoolers? Traditional is not the normal sense of tradition. Tradition means this is the way it was, and this is the way we're going to keep on. Actually, homeschooling was the tradition for some of us, and that's because the traditional sense that everybody wanted the norm to be, the created norm, it wasn't designed for you. And it's okay. It's not that you don't fit in, and it's not that you can't fit in. It's that it's okay. Find you, understand you. There's other people like you, and that community might be in the homeschool community. And what you could do, you could go out there and research, learn, use Google, find you. Just like you find that hairstyle that you like, find you. And it's okay, accept you. And anything that you want to change about you, let it be for the better. Don't let it be because somebody told you and conditioned you to do it. Find you, learn you, grow you. That's the difference between homeschooling and traditional brick and mortar schooling. You don't have to fit in and do what other people want you to do. You can really be outside of the box. Now, that's my time for today. I went a little over, but I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, everybody that's going to watch, and everybody that's sharing. This is love. This is one love. Share every episode. Go back and look at the other episodes so you can understand. And what do I mean by understand? You got to understand condition. You were conditioned to understand that word differently than what I'm saying it. So go back to episode 1, and I see you there, or I'll see you there and next Monday. All right.